Our word for the day is imminent. And definition of imminent, it means something about to happen very soon. And it describes something that's close at hand or approaching quickly, and often with a sense of urgency or importance. And when I hear this, I think about so we're driving. We rented a car. I'll tell you guys all about that fiasco. It turned out really well, but it was a fiasco. We rented a car to drive to this museum today because it was a 3.5 hour uh, tour to get here if we tried to use public transportation. And it only took about an hour and a half with a drive. So we decided to go ahead and rent a car. And all I can think of when I see the word imminent is when, you've got GPS and you're driving along and you're like, is the turn imminent? Is it right here or is it a little bit farther down the road? And sometimes you guess right, sometimes you guess wrong. I missed a couple turns today because I thought it was the next one, and it was actually the imminent turn. It was the one right there. And recognizing what is imminent helps us prepare instead of panic. So instead of that moment where you go, oh crud, I've almost missed the turn or I've missed the turn, we can put on our signal. We can make sure we're in the right name or right lane, excuse me, because all of that definitely matters. And sometimes, or I'm going to say in life and in business with different opportunities, things come up and challenges, all of that, but they give us warning signs before they arrive. Have you ever noticed that? Where if we pay attention early, we'll see something that's coming and we're able to handle it a little bit better. So, imminent can apply in so many different places. So, like a major life change or a breakthrough moment, a difficult conversation, a storm coming through town, an opportunity, growth that maybe that's been building behind the scenes. And sometimes the signs can be subtle, but there's definitely signs that something big is clearly coming. Something's, approaching us. So the quote that I found was that success rarely arrives out of nowhere. The signs of something imminent are usually there for people who are willing to pay attention. So, what I looked into was okay, so how do we handle these imminent moments? Like, how do we handle something that could feel maybe a little bit like chaos or a crisis? How do we handle that? So, first of all, do our best. And this can, as I missed my exit today, I'm not sure I did this, but it's saying stay calm instead of reactive. So, when something's coming up, maybe take a moment to take a deep breath and see if you can get back to center instead of reacting. Because when we react fast, like picture that steering wheel, when if we just whip it around, well, we might not appreciate the outcome of that. But if we can be calm, if we can breathe, if we take another lap, whatever it may be, well, then we can react a lot better. Next is to prepare before you feel ready. And I think with so many things in life, well, maybe you guys feel differently. Maybe you were born feeling ready. I have yet to feel ready for anything. I'm not ready yet to have children, and they're 17 and 20. I'm maybe not ready to build a business, but man, I've been building one for over 16 years. Like, I'm not quite ready for a lot of things, but you know what? We're still doing them. So prepare and get started before you actually feel ready, because I don't know if we ever do. Maybe you guys can put in the chats if you ever feel ready. I just don't know if I do. Next is to trust the small signs and the patterns. Our lives are filled with patterns and signs of what is to come. And we don't necessarily need to be blindsided by different things, but you know what? Sometimes we ignore those red flags, which would be our next one is don't ignore the red flags. Pay attention to them because they're there for a reason. And I think sometimes we ignore them because maybe we want something more than maybe what it's warning us away from. But if we don't ignore those red flags, then we can handle those imminent moments a lot better. With that is if we keep our mindset steady during seasons of change. There's so many times in life where we have to course correct. Like the only constant in life is that there are no constants. There's constantly change. And so if we have our mindset steady that we know, you know what, I can do hard things, or I have a 50-year track record of getting through all these moments, whatever it may be, that helps us handle those moments that are, feeling like something's coming at us really quickly a lot easier. And then we have to remember that some of these imminent moments are actually blessings, not necessarily threats. And so if we treat it that way, that can allow us to have a little bit better perspective, because sometimes something imminent feels scary because that change is uncomfortable, because it's just something new and we're not in the space that we feel the most safe and secure. But some of the best things in life once felt uncertain right before they got a little bit better. And if you think about, maybe you're a part of our company, right? So before we got started with Partner Co, before we knew what was going on and all the changes, maybe we were definitely a little bit nervous and we weren't sure. But man, I'm so grateful to have been a part of this community for the last, 3 years with Partner Co, 5 years now with the Coach's Corner. Absolutely incredible. But all of that, if I hadn't been brave enough to keep stepping forward, I wouldn't be enjoying the benefits of all of that I am right now. A breakthrough in our health, right? Sometimes I can feel like a little bit of a struggle before we get over the hump and we get to the next side. How about a restored relationship where it can be a little bit scary to reach out to somebody that maybe you were connected with in the past? But if you can reach through there and deal with that scary, you can have that strength in that relationship again. Oh, here's a good one. How about financial freedom? I would definitely sign up for that. And then think about your confidence that as you've done hard things in your life, haven't you seen that you feel more confident after you do those hard things, confidence in places that you never thought that you would have. So we don't have to approach these seasons, these times as something to fear. Sometimes we're absolutely going to get all of the things that we've been praying for. So that's what I had for Imminent this morning. We're going to be short and sweet with my very red face. I'm going to flip the camera around really quickly just to give you guys a little tiny bit of a view. We are at a car museum here somewhere it feels like the middle of Germany, but I don't think it actually is. I think we're actually kind of towards the northern portion of Germany. But grateful to be here with all of you today. Grateful to bring Chase here today. And I can't wait to tell you guys all about our car fiasco a little bit later. So I love you guys. I hope you have a beautiful Thursday. We'll see you back tomorrow.
Thank you,
Enjoy
Adrian.
Germany.
Yeah. God
All
Have
bless
right.
fun.
See you
you.
Have
next.
Bye.
fun.